Good Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Ki Seitzei always is read during the month of Elul. But what's the connection? You have some very interesting stories at the beginning of Parshas Ki Seitzei. We hear about the Yifat Toar, the woman that they find at war, that suddenly you take in, bring her captive, she grows out her nails. And then you have the story with two wives, one hated, one loved, kind of also weird, who hates somebody. And then you have the Ben Sora Mora, the wayward child, that's taken by parents, brought to the Sanhedrin, killed with skila. What does this have to do with Elul? So I want to share one idea which I do think brings everything together and as well brings us a message for Elul. Ben Soromera, what did Ben Soromera do? The Gemara tells us that what he did was he ate some meat and drank some wine. Really? None of that's capital crime. Why is he being killed for that? The Gemara tells us, Nidon al Shem Sofa, right? Mutov, that he should Yomus Zakai than being Yomus Chayev. It's better that he dies innocent than die guilty. That's usually the opposite. Why are we assuming? What's happening? No, because he started a process, and that process is going to lead him to continue stealing from others, his parents, and then ultimately bring him to murder. It's a process. Lots of things can happen in the process. Who said that's going to happen? So the answer that I want to show you actually is, look at it the other way. I mean, that's not our question. The Torah is talking about a situation that is what's going to happen. However we come to that understanding, it's going to happen. And the question comes up is, why? Why did it happen? The Ibn Ezra points out the reason why it happened is because he was indulging in this world. And when you indulge in Olam Hazeh in a certain sense, you're saying this is what the world's about, not Olam Haba. And if that's the case, you're going to fight for everything and to the point where even you murder. But just indulging in a little wine and meat? Really? That's what it is? That's what Ibn Ezra says. Yes. That's exactly where it's going. But where did it come from? The beginning of the parsha that talks about Yifat Toar, the pasuk says that when a person goes out to war, V'ra'isa b'ashivya eshes Yifat Toar, v'chashakta ba. You love her. You feel this drive towards her. But interestingly enough, Chazal explained, why are all these stories connected? Because if you find the Yifat Toar and you take her, you're going to marry her. And if you marry her, what's going to end up happening? She's going to become a hated wife. And if she becomes a hated wife and has a child, next you know that child is going to become the Ben Soromera. So they're all connected. But why is she becoming hated? V'chashakta ba. You loved her. What changes the love to hate? Because did you really love her? You were serving yourself. You were serving Olam Hazeh. And if you serve Olam Hazeh, then what's going to be at the end of the day? You're going to get over that at some point. And then it's going to turn to hate. So what happens? That child becomes a Ben Soromera. Why? It all started with the father. It all started with the mother. It started with the parents. Meaning, even the smallest little bits and smallest issues. Chashakta. You loved her. You're putting Olam Hazeh first. It gets to the kids. It gets to the child. And that could lead the child in the direction that there's no suffix where he's going to go. That's unbelievable when you think about it. It's crazy. But yet it's possible. That's something extremely important to think about. Whatever we do when it comes to our children, when it comes to our lives, has an impact. And we can't just push things aside. It's only a little bit. No. Everything has an impact for good. And God forbid, Rahman, it's not for bad. In the Seitzei Sharm, it talks about nikiyas, cleaning ourselves from a midah. Sometimes in life, we've noticed over the last 6-7 years, when it came to COVID and so on, we knew, like, you scrubbed the vegetables when it came from someplace. Like, you had to mask everything, like even the smallest little contamination. We always have to be careful. We strive to be clean, to get rid of it. One of the things to say, Elul. Elul's not just about a whitewash. It's about becoming real with yourself, real with what we do, and appreciating every little component, and recognizing every single thing that we do in life. It matters. And if it matters, we have to do it to the best of our abilities. We have to be as careful as we possibly can. B'ezras Hashem, when we have this message, we should live life in a real, thoughtful way. So this way we appreciate everything about it, and we can build off it. We can get rid of the bad and just continue building good for ourselves and for our children. Have a beautiful Shabbos.